Innovative.
The WB Morning Show, hosted by the real Young LA and Cool Ass Cam.
Hey, guess who's back? It's your boy, Young LA, the real Young LA, and you know I'm right here with Cool Ass Cam.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the WB Morning Show. Hope y'all ready for the Wake and Bake.
All right, now, y'all know the WB stands for Wake and Bake, man. You know the WB Morning Show, Wake and Bake, we keep them burning, man. So with that being said, you're going to see the chopsticks, and you're going to see the good old mimosa, man. It ain't nothing but a little orange juice and champagne for the people in the back. I got a special guest in the house. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Man, it's that boy, CRUSHOW, CRUSHOW, the last dragon for those that don't know, man. That's that new light, man, the last light in the dark alleys. Down there, man, I'm from Skid Row, South Central LA representative, born in Kansas City, Missouri. That's why I got the KC hat on today. Originally born in Kansas City, but I'm a LA native, man, born there but raised here, South Central.
My motherfucking guy, man, I appreciate you pulling up, man. You just came from far. I tell them about where you came from.
Oh, yeah, man. I went up north, man. Went to the Bay Area to chill with the fam. Took my kids up to see my big cousins.
That's
right.
right.
I got some she-ros up there, some ladies that's doing their thing, owning their homes and things like that. So I took my daughter. She's 14, so want to make sure I took her up there to see.
Yeah, got to see that with her own eyes.
Yeah, see some women that's actually holding themselves down, but, you know, still in their film mode and wanting a man to be, take the place. So.
Yeah, not the full independent pushing the dude out. They right there with their guy and they still running the place. So that's a beautiful thing to let daughter see. You just pulled up. How long was that drive? Tell them how long it take them to get up there.
Yeah,
man.
A little 5 hours. Not bad when you think about the timing and when you want to leave. And that's the beautiful part about California, man. We stretch from the top to the bottom.
Come on now,
and you still be in the state. You know what I mean? But you still feel
only place where you could go to the water. You
snow.
go to the snow and the desert in one day. California, baby. You got to love it, man. Yeah, shout out to the Bay, though. Shout out to up north for all that, man. If it wasn't the Bay, L.A., and San Diego, you got California. You got to put all three of them together, man.
You have to.
You did?
You have to.
So, yeah, you said Skid Row, huh?
Yeah, the road, man.
A lot of people, they heard about Skid Row, but they never been there, let alone be from there. So, give us something about Skid Row, people, that people think and they might be wrong about.
One thing, man, the row is a community. A lot of people don't realize that part. Yes, you gotta get me right on these.
We'll get them together. Don't worry
get me right. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm a blunt man. He got me on these papers.
Yeah, sorry. It's some in there.
Penthouse status. You feel what I'm saying? This is what you call the penthouse status.
It's a little bit of grab in there though, so you ain't getting just a straight joint though. It's got the little bite in there though, but definitely you gotta handle it a little different. So yeah, let me get you the one that's lit already. You know what I'm talking about?
Bingo. So yeah, one thing a lot of people don't realize is community down in Skid Row. Most just think the basket pushing or the mental health.
Right.
But Skid Row is probably the most hardest working community in Los Angeles. You got to think 3 a.m. is where it starts to be active because you have the flower district, you got the garment district,
right?
You got the seafood district,
yeah.
Plus you got the toy district,
right?
This is all distributed out to Los Angeles, so it has to be out. They have to be up early to distribute it all to the malls and all the mom and pops, and everybody else. So
a lot of people got to go stop there first before they open their business back in the city.
So that means they have to be prepared before the people, the
right.
T-shirt companies and everybody else opens up inside the city.
So the city really open and start right there.
Everything starts right there. You know
what
I mean?
Game, man.
The
I
whole
never
thing
thought about it like that.
It becomes Skid Row because when it comes from the ports, that's the first thing the train would bring it downtown, and now it has to be distributed out. So it's called the road because that's where the railroads were laid at.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 1800s, the railroads was laid there, so it's the row. It becomes what it is now because at the time, with all the pool halls and everything that's down there in the 40s, 1940s and things of that fashion, with all the men that work, they don't go home once they get their checks. Most of them just hang out, hit the pool hall, get liquored up, do their thing. By the time Monday come again, they back at work. So then, you got drugs that hit, and then Reagan hits, and he takes away mental health hospitals. So now it turns into what we see now.
I remember when I started seeing it for a minute, where I want to say paramedics used to just pull up and let the patient out right there and go on about their business, and then they kind of like stopped doing that for a minute or something. But I don't know, how is it now? Is that still a thing?
We on that watch now. With us being on the watch, would have been a community watch the way we do it. Yeah. I have a nonprofit called the Sidewalk Project, but it's rooted from OGs and services. It was an older cat down there when I was selling dope. I mean, I came to Skid Row to sell dope. We're not gonna fake it.
Come on now.
I didn't come down there to be a savior or to try to.
You tried
do
to
what I'm doing now.
Get your money.
Man.
I seen something while you was down there.
I had my son. You feel me? Once I had my kid, I was
my guy, man. Big basketball player right there, man. Shout out to
little artiste, man. Yeah, sure. My boy, man. Them,
change your life.
That's what kids will do to you.
That's right.
Gave me purpose again.
That's right.
Other than that, I'm out here trying to.
Run up the bag, as they say.
Doing that, or trying to figure out who I'm fitting in with. Now that part I wasn't trying to do anymore.
Yeah, California is a very different type of place, because you got to fall up in here, and it's a lot of different hoods and gangs and stuff. And when you from out of town, it's like you end up being with the people you meet first. And you think, maybe that's the people, or you met all kind of people, or how it go. I could imagine, though. But yeah,
that's crazy you say that, man. My first homeboy, man, my first friend, and still my best friend, when I first moved out here, is Kato.
Oh yeah.
My boy Kato.
Shout out to Kato, man.
Shout out to my boy Kato. And
we supposed to be having him up here soon too.
Got you. That's a great dude, man.
And he got a lot of good energy.
He sets my foundation for what LA is,
That part.
When I come here at Santa Barbara Elementary,
he a good representation of LA too.
Man, he is, man.
Yeah.
He was one person that, with him being the first friend that I had out here.
So how did y'all meet? Let's talk about that.
I'm 4th grade, maybe going to the 5th grade.
Oh, y'all locked in like that?
Yeah.
That's one thing about LA. I could say, if you meet somebody back then, when y'all grow up together, whatever y'all go through, y'all gonna be locked in through all of the trials and tribulations.
That's my homeboy till life, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I can really say, he sets the foundation of how I'm actually seeing what it is as a child.
That part.
But being a real good friend, he never locked in on telling me anything about
trying
the
to
games.
Force none of that type of stuff,
like the whole time I'm hanging with him, and
he's just telling people, this my people's right here. He
my
good.
People.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But the whole time it ain't never put me on to what the what it was to be from the turf. You know what I mean? And I don't find out that he's actually from the turf until we grown.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean? I had my kids and everything.
He was just really your real friend.
Just really my real friend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I knew nothing about. The first time I even found out about gang banging, because I think when I'm here, color's not even out. The movie's not even out yet.
Got you. So that's like out of town's introduction to it for the most part. A lot of people just seen colors.
Yeah. I mean, shit. The crazy part about it is I'm here.
Yeah.
And still didn't know because I'm a child.
Got
you know what I mean? I'm just.
We all
grew
up like that, to be honest. I feel the same way. When I grew up, I would just call them niggas the bad guys. You'll see them around where you didn't understand the colors and the politics of it. You just know them niggas be tripping all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
The crazy thing is where I was at over on Dinker and 41st, man, it's like I didn't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Over in the Harlems, I wasn't really even seeing it because it was
a little different back then.
Yeah, it was different. You know what I mean? Older people own the homes and shit,
yeah.
So
everybody owned their house.
Yeah, the funk was really only at the park. Really, I guess where they was hanging. I guess you know what I mean. And then when I'm in school, coming out of Santa Barbara, I'm really not seeing it at that time, and I'm not. I'm in the house or I'm on the porch, barely around the corner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But by the time get a little older, then you get to find out. So I found out he was from the turf. Once we older, but that's why I respect him as a homeboy because
he never tried.
He was never pushing that towards me. We played ball and
he's just a real friend.
He kept me up on my Dickies and my silk shirt though.
Yeah, he made sure you was dressing like an LA nigga now.
Yeah.
Hold it down. You can't pull those off. Like you not walking with me up here with those.
Yeah,
I
probably still was walking around looking like the turf.
Yeah,
not knowing it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But no, man. No, Cali it's my home, man. Regardless of where I'm born, it's where I was.
You still stop back through on Kansas City?
Every so often, all my family back that way. So yeah, I got I have a little sister back that way.
Yes,
so
I gotta go over there and hug her on purpose all the way. Check on. Yeah, that's right.
But more than anything, man, I'm this way, man. If it ain't calling me to do this artwork outside, then I'm right here. It's not
There
the
we go.
basketball taking me out of town no more. It's this artwork.
Okay, before we get into the art, let's talk about the basketball. Cause when I first met you, I knew you because of the basketball. I seen you Venice Beach. You one of the niggas I always seen that was holding it down and being a good I don't want to say everybody there to play basketball, but it's some people that's be there to socialize and make sure everybody being good that's there to watch the games too. You one of those type of guys. You always show love. Right before I always knew of you and everything. So then when I started hearing about you and me, I'm like, yeah, I fuck with you heavy.
Yeah.
Then I end up performing up there, and that's when we linked back up and everything. And
Yeah.
it was super love, man. You know what I mean?
I've always been a fan of Young LA, man. Like, you always done your thing, man. I respected that you've been 10 toes with, just moving in your motion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one thing. It's not hard to do out here, but it's easy to get caught up in sliding with the homies. You
It
know what I'm
definitely
saying?
is. So growing up out here, I know everybody. That's
Yeah.
basically the thing I could say.
Yeah.
And me moving around so much, I was never nowhere long enough to be from somewhere. So I always grew up with all the good people because he used to live over here with me back in the. So whenever I see him, it'd be love.
Yeah.
I knew him like you said, 5th grade, 3rd grade. Now you grow older. That's what's the name of niggas be talking about? Oh, I know him. That's a nigga still know him by his first and last name because you know him from school and shit. So it'd be love. So I tried to stay neutral. I got love for everybody, so that's how I'm pressing. So
That's the way to be, man. I mean,
and that's where the Young LA came from. So with that, you can't be LA and be leaning to somebody's side or heavy on it. You got to be represent the whole LA. So,
the whole LA, man. I mean, it's better to rep the whole LA anyway. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna simp with one side anyway and play favorites, then
you might as well have been from there.
I mean, that's what it's gonna be when we growing up.
That's how niggas gonna look at you. You get associated with it. So I fuck with everybody. You might see me with them people, these people, those people, all those, because these are all my good people.
Yeah,
so.
but just understand who I'm sitting with is rolling with my energy though.
Yeah, man.
Regardless of what they flag is,
they fucking with me, man. They understand
my energy,
understand
so that's
my movement, and I'm just trying to make LA a better place. So,
that's
you
it.
Feel me?
That's
so
it.
They all fuck with me, and it's all love. I fuck with them, and I be out. So I run into all the good peoples all the time and tap in and make sure I send my love and shit. And, you gotta just be a real nigga out here in these streets. So
when I met you when you was up at Venice, man, Venice Basketball League, the VBL started. We started that actually with our 20 years. This
That's
year.
What's up, man? Congratulations.
20 years,
That's big.
Yeah, 20 years. But we started with Shirts and Skins back in the day. Using it as a platform, when White Man Can't Jump came out, it was something that we knew people watched. And it put Venice on the map for hoop.
Right.
It was already on the map already, but it gave the world a different aspect of looking at it with two different cultures coming in, because that's how I actually see it. With me coming in from South Central LA, then coming to the beach, you're going to run into the beach life. The difference is, they had it right, the white boy coming there, because it's basically all of us at the court anyway.
Yeah.
But we used it as a platform to make sure we can have it as a scene for people to be seen. Because, it only had the Drew League, but while they sit and they talk about Rutgers and all these other black top spots, it was a perfect platform for us to use to show that we had just as much talent as any other state. Yeah,
for sure.
So it worked out. So we are, our 20th year. We on
and
our
you
third
one of them
shit.
niggas, though.
Oh, I'm always going to be that.
I definitely see you. You still get on the court and show
I'm
niggas
gonna play this
something
year.
about.
I'm going to get this chip this year.
Oh, yeah, I'm in there, then. I'm
going
pulling
to
up.
grab it this year. I got to figure out where I'm. I didn't have a sponsor this year, and I didn't put a team in.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is just seeing
which team you want to fit
where
in
I'm gonna
with.
fall in at, where they can use
What's
it.
on for this season?
Yeah, I'm only, I'm gonna give them a cool little 10 minutes each half.
You know what I'm talking about?
You feel me?
Yeah.
10 minutes each half, leave with a cool little 15 and a win.
Hello. I'm only coming for the W.
That's it.
You hear?
And to play my ass off.
I can hear you, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up, man. So now with this art,
yeah, man, that's what's really moving it right now. Well, okay.
And so before, like I was saying, I knew you from the hoop.
Yeah.
One day you called me and said, I want to do a mural.
A mural, yeah.
Yeah. I like this song you got with K-Boy, Welcome to LA.
Yeah.
And I could see me doing a mural.
Oh yeah,
for
we
y'all.
still need to get that.
We still got to do
K-Boy,
it.
you moving slow than a motherfucker.
You hear me? Shout out to K-Boy.
Homie, that's my guy, man. That's
Come
my
on,
guy,
K-Boy. What we doing, man?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I was trying to tell you, we got to find a good I want to find one of them good spots where everybody can pull up and post it and don't be feeling like, ooh, where I'm at. And because LA is one of those,
spot. It'd be like a neutral
spot where, so we looking for a spot. Anybody on here, if you see us and you got a wall, they keep tagging on it, and or it's just spots you want to help add to your business, go on and tap in, man. We might be able to make something shake.
Like a postcard type deal. You feel me? With putting two other foundation people that's pushing the whole city. Pushing the whole city. I thought it would be a great one because that song is dope.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Shit was
really
heavy.
dope.
It was going viral when we dropped it too. So shout out to everybody that was fucking with all the DJs picking it up and everything. So I be trying to perform it when I bring K-Boy out, so I don't just be performing it all the time. Whenever K-Boy pop out, we do it. And when I do the Young LA concerts, he usually pull up and we hit him with it. You know what I mean?
That boy stay in the wind, but he gonna come
he working.
out.
So shout out to him. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing but a good old alley-oop.
Yeah, man. When it comes to the art, man, I started art when I was young. I used to watch my pops get down, and then I would want to get in his shit, and he would pass me my own and tell me, hey, this is yours. This is what you need to do. Plus, my mom's got down. She be sitting on the phone. I be watching her get down. So it's always been in me, but
DNA.
Yeah, DNA. But out here growing up, you never don't run into too many people that are saying they artists. So you see a black book, and you figure that okay, this is the artist. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got slipped into tagging. Because the homies just walk around with black books. So I'm thinking this is what it is. So like I said, being from the beginning of VBL, I was at the beginning of when Trouble started. Nothing But Trouble. I used to be from Nothing But Trouble when it came to tagging.
Yeah.
Once it came Trouble Gang, it was time for me to leave it alone.
Got you.
One thing Mom's always told me, if I start gang banging, she was gonna send me back to Missouri.
Yeah, you like I'm trying to stay here. So
I was caught up in that because I thought it was art. You feel
I mean, at that time it wasn't a gang yet.
It wasn't a gang
I had
yet.
my boy Delore came on here and he kind of explained how it transitioned and everything.
I was there off of Stalker when it happened.
Yeah, so I didn't even know that because where they located now, they were saying they basically started like a Leimert Park area and all that. So
Leimert Park area. Then one of the homies come off of Stalker, busting at him.
It changed everything.
Let them know that we wasn't playing around no more. So I had to leave it alone. Not gang banging. I'm not gonna play around with that one. I didn't want to go back to Missouri, man. That's what Mom's was. California, man, you can't beat this spot.
She didn't let you know already. You got one thing you can do and you out of here. So don't do it. A lot of people would try to hide it and try to do it on the low.
Yeah, maybe if she told me if I sold dope, she was gonna send me back home. I probably wouldn't have did it.
She said, "Well, you didn't say that. I didn't see that one on the checklist."
You feel me?
I ain't gonna lie. If I'd have been bored back in the day, it's kind of like, damn, it's cracking. Why would you? Fast forward now, seeing what it done to all of the people and all that, maybe big difference because you doing something that's hard on people. But back in the day, before it was burnt out and all bad, everybody was doing it. So
yeah, man. I can actually say that. I guess that's the time I'm probably getting in. I'm gonna start selling dope until '99. Feel me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah, it's it
was still a little early.
Yeah, it was still the prices and shit was still solid too. You know what I'm saying?
The war on drugs.
Yeah, it's
the war on drugs, huh?
And they fuck me all over, man. They charging people like they smoking.
Yeah, he said, you know what? I might well go and start doing my art.
Yeah,
now.
man, they were starting to charge me like I was on the other end of the pipe. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm in Cali. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Prices doubled up. Quarters turned to double up, and everything was what I was trying to make is what they charging.
Hey, man, I might well go get a job if that's the case. Man, they let you just doing it for fun now.
What really happened, man? Like I said, that boy here, man. I made a promise to my baby mom.
Okay,
but it was my baby mom's because I was gonna do the kids either way it go.
Yeah.
I made a promise to baby mom if she had a kid for me, I would get out the game because it gave me new light. You can be out here trying.
You gotta reinvent yourself too.
Yeah, man, you be out here trying to make things right and thinking a nigga or some individual or person's looking at you in a highly way, but the whole time they got a ulterior motive. You know what I'm saying?
Part.
So
that's the thing.
Having
the
streets,
a kid, man.
Yeah, when it comes to a kid, man, you can actually be what you want to be in their eyes.
And they love you all with all their body.
Regardless,
you ain't got to double check on it, and they love you.
As long as you put out what you're supposed to.
Shout out to all the fathers out there, man. That's the best hood you could be from. Fatherhood, man.
That's it, man. Like it changed me up. But it made my goal was, like I said, I was gonna make sure I get into the art, but bumps and rides in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I finally hit this contract that I've been aiming to hit for years to kind of put me where I need to be. But through this process, man, it's been, you know, running into different business partners and landlords that want to rob you and evict and steal your shit out your house. Like, I've had a bunch of different falls to where it's been a road, but now we here and it's on and popping, man. Ain't no stopping it now.
Okay, yeah. I see why this burning crazy too. I got some different joints because they ran out of the white papers I usually get.
Gotcha.
These are organic. They was saying, you want to try these? Well, come on, man.
Yeah,
and
let me
now
go on there.
I see why I don't. These motherfuckers burning too fast for a real one though.
Yeah.
But
on the art tip, man, when I first started getting into it, it was hard to find out how to make money with it. So the first way I started doing it, man, I bumped into this young dude named Mike Norris.
That's the one that be doing all those paintings that be by the freeways and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, man. Young man was, you know, he was, I guess, humble enough to, you know, give me some pointers on how to work on these shoes, customized shoes. I became pretty solid at it to where we became business partners, and from that point, you know, we kind of went forward. Had a little bump in to where whatever. I think it's more so on just the differences of different cloth we cut from. Him probably not knowing how to get at me about certain things. Plus, at the same time, being a new business partner.
We just leave it at miscommunication.
Yeah, miscommunication, and probably not even knowing how to talk to me. Because I would say, you know, I see it as being real simple to tell me what you want to do, but maybe he never knew how to do it. So, but I see that now. You know, if you was asking me about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I would have seen it something different.
Right.
But, you know, now with me just being the businessman that I am and seeing business totally, maybe he just didn't know how to get at me on what he wanted to do, so we had to part. You know what I mean? But that's where I really started to learn how to make money with my art, was doing custom shoes.
Gotcha.
And then, you know, I remember having a plan to want to do murals. Mm-hmm. And we both started doing murals. And then we just, you know, we both went our own separate ways. Yeah. And but that's how I really started getting into it, because I was trying to figure out how could I start making money with this art, with me wanting to have this child, you know. And the first thing I did was do custom shoes at Dub's Clothing with my boy Damon Ford.
That's what's up. Shout out to Dub's Clothing.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Dub. And he introduced me to Mike. And from that point, you know, art-wise, I started really flourishing on how to make the money, you know, with designing and things of that fashion. Right,
because first you learn how to draw good and have a gang of different paintings and drawings, and then you got to learn, okay, how we
going to place this out? Yeah, you know what I mean? You have to learn the business aspect of it, you know, so.
Yeah, so now you got a nice art gallery.
Yeah, nice art gallery at the Brewery Art Lofts, Life is Art Studios. I have a art nonprofit, the Sidewalk Project. We have about 5 different chapters, 4 of them, well actually 3 of them are outside the country. And just, you know, letting this art carry me, man, you know, doing what it can. You know, one thing I believe is art has saved the world. I mean, from music to food to everything. When you put it out, it's all art.
It's really downloading, uploading from God, because He giving you that. So
That's
you just got to use.
But I have to stay humbled in it. You know what I mean? Because one thing I remember is the angel of art turned to be Satan. You know what I mean? So you can't get too full of yourself in it. You can't get too vain in it. Yeah. You know, have your confidence in it, but don't. You know,
I still got to wash the dishes to take out the trash, man. You know, when you get too cool, you're like, I don't do that. But it's something in doing that to keep you humble. You know
hey, man,
I mean? One
thing I noticed, man, I was out not too long ago, man. I seen Freeway Rick handing out flyers for his shit. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, Freeway handing out flyers.
Come on, man.
But I mean, you know what I mean? That's how you get to know the people, and that's how you stay grounded also. You stay grounded. Shouts out to the big homie Freeway Rick.
Shout out to Freeway, man. Yeah. Definitely one of the LA's most legendary grinders of all time. You know what I mean?
That's a kingpin that you can actually talk to.
Yeah, that's my knock right there.
Yeah.
He sell hair. Yeah, I'm talking
whatever,
about book,
man.
Sweater,
whatever, man.
Yeah, man. He got a weed shop. We went down there to the grand opening of his weed shop.
Oh yeah,
he got that now. Freeway, you know what I mean? I remember
he's actually doing the mobile one, man. He building the mobile. Oh,
come on, man. Hey, shit going on, man. That's all you got to know. It's shit going on. So tell people about some of the people you did paintings for. Just so you know how I know in the ghetto they like to hear, you know, who you work with, and it don't mean nothing to some people, but it mean a lot to some people.
Man,
so
my work, man.
Don't be humble right now. Go and let some of the good people let
when it come to like my work right now, most of it's being for the community, like County of Los Angeles. I've done some things for Task Force. It's a mural on Arlington and the 10 freeway.
Yeah.
For housing, and it's about actually bringing housing for those that are unhoused and letting those with houses understand that we're actually going to build units next to your home. So, get comfortable that we actually about to bring some new neighbors in. It's called Dear Neighbor. It's with the Dear Neighbor campaign. You can look it up. It's called Dear Neighbor. Done some stuff for We Rise. We Rise is a mental health movement for attacking things with mental health and giving awareness on mental health.
Nice.
They do something every year to bring awareness for mental health. So I've worked with We Rise. Just did a mural for Puma with VBL on their hoop bus. So I've worked with Puma.
Nice.
Did the mural down at the Nipsey Court when we created that Nipsey Court right there off of 60th.
Yeah.
And that's working with VBL.
Yeah, I think that's at the middle school or something.
Right there at the little elementary school,
Yeah.
Creed Academy. Y'all need to, shouts out to Creed Academy, man. At least 75% of their students that go there are unsheltered or unhoused. And then, it's one of the schools where they fund themselves and they're looking for funding, looking for people to just come and put their time in. So Creed Academy is doing great things over there off of 60th and Crenshaw.
Helping the kids, man.
Yeah, they doing their thing, man. Yeah, and they got some great, it's amazing.
And that's one of the big Nipsey murals that everybody know
That's
about.
it.
They show you got to see that thing from that drone view so you can really see how
so
dope
you
it
can really
is.
Look at it.
But that one was very
A bunch
dope.
of artists worked on that mural, man.
That'd be dope too. When you see a gang of artists collaborate with each other and everything still come out to be one picture.
One piece, man. As many dope artists that worked on that mural and all the assistance that the community did, it looks like one person knocked it out.
Yeah, for sure,
and that's when you know that people are working in the same energy.
How long did it take you guys to finish that all together?
It was about maybe at least a week.
Dope.
Yeah.
How many artists all together? I know you probably don't remember all their names.
Well, I'm knowing if you were to go off of people that live in the light of being artists, over 7.
Nice.
That are actually artists, live their life doing artwork.
Yeah, like professionals,
professional artists.
Yeah. And then there was a ton of other people that just helped out. Because sometimes you just need somebody. Hey, can you throw the paint buckets away?
Well, yeah, the main thing is we all artists, man.
Yeah.
When you born, man, first thing you do is you draw before you write. You know what I'm saying? You sing before you talk. You dance before you walk.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you say that again one more time?
Yeah,
that was heavy.
We all artists. When you born, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
First thing, you draw before you write. You sing before you talk. You dance before you walk. Then somebody judges you or you start judging yourself.
Yeah.
So you stop, participating in it.
Yeah, the child in you start minimizing it. You know what I mean? As I grow up, you gotta have that child in you still.
That creativity has to stay going, man. Or you find
you
yourself.
gotta feed that fire, man. People start getting too grown, and you get a lot of bills and things going on where you don't really got time to feed that fire, even if you want to.
That's why you start seeing people get obese, or they start having a lot of shit they wearing because they trying to get their creativity out. All they doing is cooking and getting dressed. They got to put it somewhere else.
Still putting it somewhere.
Yeah,
that's smart. I like that point of view. That's dope.
They stay making that food, sitting there enjoying it.
Yeah, cooking. They cooking up some art right there. They eating
art all day, and
they might not be working out to do what
when they get dressed, they got the fly shoes and all this.
So they still letting their art be.
They attacking. They attacking.
I see you got some watches right here. Let's talk about that. What are those nice things you got there?
Well, this is I got a work program that we created. When I, like I said, the biggest thing that was told to me was the lie, man. And that was liberty and justice for all.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to bring something to balance the table.
Yeah.
When I sold dope, I realized if your product's good, they're gonna come back and get it again, and they're gonna double up on it.
That part.
So being an artist and having connection with a couple of different artists that wish to push the issue, we make product. Yeah. Once we make the product, we distribute it out to the streets.
Right.
And we give it to those that are trying to be that are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And then we'll teach them how to become better entrepreneurs to, compete with the big dogs. But more than anything, we give them a product so they can actually sell it with a cause. And every product that sells, it puts money up for them for housing, but also gives enough money to put back for the product, but to double up. So now they can get another product for someone else.
Right.
And now, it's one of those pyramid schemes that's actually helping the community, those getting off the street, learn how to feed for themselves and house themselves also. So instead of begging for the money, they're actually getting something that's put in their pocket and get them housed. Because if they sell a watch, it gets them half of what they need for a hotel room. So if they sell 2 of them, they're housed for the day. But at the same time, now they have 4 watches, so they can keep going and stay their business. But we also have T-shirts. We're putting a compilation album together because we have a bunch of artists and musicians down that way. So it's all towards the cause. So.
It's giving them something legal to have to sell without having no problems, and a good product they can stand behind.
Yeah, and it's also, it's giving them the skills for them to go talk with people and break what's going down, but also tell their story.
Right.
It was going well before COVID hit. Once COVID hit, we had to shut down because there was no contact with people.
Right.
But starting it back up, getting it going. We started back up about 3 months ago. And, just moving it. We'll see how it goes. We'll be out at Venice Beach while we're doing the games at VBL.
Right.
We'll have a table doing like airbrushing and selling art pieces and pushing this art program we got. We just got to pass by the DOJ so we can go up in schools and teach art programs.
And that's what's up, man. I love everything you're doing. It's all for the people and better in LA. Everybody say they for LA. And then you start asking what they doing, and it might be a little bit harmful for LA. But everything you talk about is just all empowering. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate it, man. I've been noticing people sitting here and they worried about Trump and they talking about Trump, but half of them don't even know who their council member is.
That's in LA,
so
the one that
that's
they
in
got
LA.
holler
That's
at
in their
right here.
district. You know what I'm saying? So you sitting here worrying about a man and you don't even know who your council person is.
Oh man, I tell people that all the time when they get to telling me about a war in Iraq and all that. Hey man, it's a war going on in LA right now.
Here.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know I can't help the people out there because I can barely help what's going on out here. You know what I mean? I'm trying. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
Y'all got to be easy on all them world issues when we right here and some shit. Let's try to handle some of these.
We got to handle
issues.
this home first.
Let's start here. You know what I mean?
No disrespect to what's going on
Oh, man,
elsewhere,
love,
but we got to do what we need to do.
But yeah, man, you only can help people when you help yourself. You know what I mean? When you need help, it's hard to be out trying to help somebody. You know what I mean?
Come on.
You dig?
All the way, man.
So, what's your top 5 favorite artists of all time?
Top 5 favorite artists. That's something you say that, man. I was just thinking the other day, man. For some reason, Pac's always gonna ring.
Yeah.
Pac's always gonna ring in my head. It's been number 1. I think more so because of the time era I was growing up in and how I was seeing things that he holds me the way he does.
Yeah.
It's just like how somebody, regardless of what goes on, it's hard for them to take Michael Jordan's seat from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he still got it to me.
Yeah, he's gonna have it. Just the time I was in of me looking up to somebody.
And then I can't give the seat away to Michael Jordan's seat to somebody who come underneath them or his tutelage. You know what I mean? You gotta add something to the game now for something for you to do it. You can't just take his and try to do it better than him.
And try to do it better than him and then be better than him.
Nah,
that don't work.
Yeah, but I respect you and I give you your props
all day
because it's hard to even get that close.
Even get that.
And it was like shit. I didn't even see certain shit with Kobe where they played his exact steps and it was like, damn, this nigga got his shit down.
Look better.
And you could tell he was smart enough to study it and do all that. But fast forward, shout out to
come on, man,
Tupac number 1.
Tupac number 1, man. Cube was a beast. Cube was a beast. Like, he was he used to be that number 1 for me, but he was that beast until Pac hit the stage for me. Ice Cube was at 1 until Pac hit the stage. Yeah. Crazy, man. I was always a Spice One fan.
Spice One, yeah. You got to be a real LA nigga to be that. And for the fact that you from KC too, that give you both of the sides. I know Spice One way heavy out there.
Spice
for sure.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I got you.
Yeah, I wasn't listening. You know, I'm
Yeah.
out here when you know. What
Yeah, I
I'm saying?
get you.
Like I was out here
Yeah.
when it was Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I got you.
Before, like I said, I went to Santa
So you
Barbara.
basically
but
from LA. You
I'm
just
from
born
LA,
out there.
man. I was just
Most
born
of the
out
time,
there.
somebody say that they lived out there till they was 9 or 10.
Nah,
you was really out. You
I'm
said
out here,
5
man.
years old.
I
you
came
was
out
already
here. I came out here at 3.
Got you.
Moms went back to try to make it right with pops, and then I'm back out here, 5th, 6th grade.
Got you.
You know.
So yeah.
Yeah. So it's you know yeah.
It was enough to say you was there, but not
Man, I
enough
mean, it was
where-
Santa Barbara, and then I went to Santa Barbara, graduated from King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it ain't Santa Barbara Boulevard no more. It's King. So I mean, I've been here a long
so
time.
for the people that don't know, before it was Martin Luther King Boulevard, it was Santa Barbara Boulevard.
Yeah.
Around that, what time did that switch?
What's that like?
Was that after?
80, that's like 80.
Was it while Martin Luther King was still alive,
82?
or after he passed away?
Come on, man.
Okay.
82, man. Like 82. Like
I guess that was
83,
kind of
somewhere. Yeah, 84 around that time.
in the
man.
ghetto. You would ask
Trying to
that
guess his
question.
age now.
Yeah, it was
Like,
probably-
No. I'm not even guessing his age.
Yeah,
You're
probably-
basically saying, you know, they made Martin Luther King
Fuck
no
no.
street while he was
Shit.
alive.
Yeah, never.
Yeah. So I mean, when you say it like that, it automatically.
It wasn't even about everything else. It was about exactly what you said.
Yeah, I got you.
Ain't no way they
Yeah.
made that nigga no
No.
street.
Yeah, so yeah, I got you. Hey, and I lived on Martin Luther King. You hear me? And that's the ghetto is area of every part of the
Every
world.
part.
I don't
Every
know.
city got a
They
Martin Luther
stamped it
King.
like
And they definitely
And
did.
you know you're gonna find some brothers.
And I don't think they did that on purpose. Okay, so with that being said, was it a difference when it was Santa Barbara and Martin Luther King?
Hell
Did it
no,
switch?
that's how
Or
they
was it
knew.
same? Yeah.
That's how they knew they was gonna make it King Boulevard.
Got
'Cause
you.
It wasn't no
They
different.
was, yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, certain words I realized they wouldn't keep to themselves. Cause it was rodeo for a minute, the rodeo, but
Yeah.
rodeo, they switched that out too.
Straight to Obama.
Yeah. Oh, the next like, okay, I see what's
Hey,
going
but on some real shit, I would
Yeah.
rather them, no disrespect to Obama, I would rather them turn it to Malcolm X Boulevard. We don't have no Malcolm X.
That would have been hard.
We don't have no Malcolm
Shout
X.
out to Obama though, but yeah, Malcolm X would have been way harder. Hey, nigga, I done told nigga, hey, meet me on Malcolm X. Yeah.
And that's where it belongs, right
Yeah,
over there.
That would have
Like,
been fire.
you feel me?
Me, I'm off of Malcolm X Boulevard.
Yeah, I'm
That
off
is-
Malcolm
that's
X
too-
and Crenshaw.
We like that too much.
You feel me?
That's crazy.
I'm off
Yeah, that's
Malcolm
wild.
X, Crenshaw.
We like that one too
Yeah,
much.
we
The
need to-
Obama's alright for sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Malcolm X nigga would have been there at the.
Come on.
Yeah.
We would have been there for the ribbon cutting of that one. That shit would have been like an easy funeral.
I'd have brought too many people out. They said no.
Yeah.
No. Shit, no. Matter of fact, the person that came up with that idea, he's fired now. We gotta let him go. We don't need that type of energy in this building. You know?
That's probably why they didn't do it, man. That's probably why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Malcolm X would have brought some energy.
Niggas would have moved over there.
Yeah, it would have really been going down.
Niggas have been looking for property. I'm living on Malcolm X Boulevard.
Yeah, that's one
fire.
of the ones. That's one of the
That was a
ones.
good idea, man. Shout out to you. They need to let you. You didn't put enough work, right? All the stuff you just said. They might as well give you a councilman seat. Let you start doing shit like that. They deserve
know,
for a
man,
nigga in the
I'm not
office to
going-
start pushing those type of ideas.
I'm not going for no seat, man. I'm with the people, man.
Say that then.
Yeah, I'm not going for no seat. You know that
They can't pay you to do this.
No, the people in the seats gonna have to come talk to me because
They
know
need to
I'm
come
with the
down
people.
and holler.
They
I hear
already
you.
come
They
holler.
already. I get you. So
Yeah.
instead of trying to go up and throwing off the game, you gonna stay where you at and make them come holler because you
'Cause
gonna
then
for
they
sure now you know they gotta
gotta
come out.
change. They gotta-
You go up there, they be in turn.
Well, I mean, when you
twisted
go that
up
way,
where-
you go. I mean, come on, man.
You ain't out. You ain't.
You
there
go
with the
that
people,
way,
come
you
on.
already
You go.
signed up. That's like turn. You know, if you go with the blue, you already know you with the blue.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can't do nothing else because you coming to their table, you come to their seat, you just entering. All
you
you
gotta
do
take
is-
your oath, man. You with us now.
Come on, man.
You for the people.
Yeah,
for
and I'm-
those people now.
I can't do that.
I hear you.
You know what
already
I mean?
claimed your people.
Yeah,
for
I'm with the
Skid Row,
people.
I'm with the streets, man.
Yeah, I'm with the people, man.
They
I mean,
love
let the
you out
people-
there, man. Talk about the love you get. I didn't walk with you out there. You had the club down there. I put it up on you.
Oh yeah, man. You know, one thing I realized, man. You know, me coming straight. Like I said, I was a college kid. You know what I'm saying? Playing ball overseas, coming straight with a college education, hitting the block.
Yeah.
My cousin from the Verge ended up taking me down there from Nine Deuce, so I ended up going with him because I needed to make something happen.
Yeah.
You know, and my plan was to make enough to make it happen for me to do what I'm doing now.
Got That was kind of like Freeway Rick too, when he had opened up that Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, that's why he was
trying to keep it going, and that was the time they called him. He tried to go back
to get that money so he could do his thing.
Some shit was all fucked up. He tried to make one quick play,
move so he could make it happen.
One I really said I was gonna never do it again, and went for it, and they had him. Boom.
So that was my plan, man. My plan. You know, I grew up in the YMCA. Mm-hmm. You know, always just making sure I can have something to do and other people to network and have not be in the street. Yeah. So the thing was to make something where people had a place to go and be able to find their resources. So the best way I could figure was fuck it, let me get in the street and make my money, and then I'll be able to put up and plan. Yeah. From that point, I'll be able to start my art. Yeah. With the art, that's unlimited. I can set the price I want to on whatever my pieces are.
That part.
That's a big way to get my money and make it happen because it's real deal. So that's how I built it. From there, the people helped me do it because they could have seen me as a gazelle out there with them wolves.
For sure.
But
they took you in.
Yeah, my family member ended up going to jail. Then I had like some homies from some blood homeboys and a couple other East Side homies that really took me up under their wing with me being out there. Neighborhood, like it's OG neighborhood, dude.
I was about to say, like, being down there is like a whole another part of LA. Man,
people,
you get into some shit down there, you can't call somebody from LA and be like, hey, I just got it's a whole
it's a whole different world, man.
Yeah,
it's a whole
all
different
kind
world,
of different
man.
people.
And it's different now, back years ago it was really where we were all together, but now it's most people have went on and moved on whichever way. And it's a new breed down that way, so it's not as close as it used to be. Like I'm actually one of the last of the DTGs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I heard of that before. I didn't know that's a real thing.
Yeah. You know, my whole thing is I'm a downtown original though. You know what I mean? I'm not a gangster with it. My whole thing is just being an original person from downtown that understands what the core is or what that is. That's our 40 acres and a mule.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's one place for a fact you're able to make your climb. And be able to come up to where we as people are looking out for each other and making it happen. They fought with the Mexicans and all that back in the 80s to make sure that we could be where we wanted to be. Regardless of how anybody sees it, it was actually it's 50 blocks. It was our 40 acres and a mule, but we actually got an extra block, extra 10.
Gotcha.
So it made it. You can get what you needed in that area. So to keep it, we kept it community. We had rules of what went on and how you had to function. People had their time that they had to get out. All that is back to being the Wild Wild West. But one thing that isn't lost is we are still community.
Gotcha.
And if you're not down there for the people that are down there, then we will get you out of there.
Yeah. With that being said, I heard about a guy who had got arrested and he had $1 million in $1 bills.
That's the homie. OG homeboy.
That's a real thing?
Yeah, real deal. He had a whole bunch of money in change too. Yeah. Like over $4,000, $3,000 in change.
Damn.
It's depending on how many years you can figure it out. But that was, what you talking about was like that was 2005, I think.
Yeah, I just was like damn. I could only imagine. When I heard it, I was like, that's crazy. You got to be a legend, you know what I mean? And, just on some street shit, you'll never hear nobody ever again have $1 million in $1 bills. That's
man,
just,
it's crazy,
Because where you going to put it, that's just the type of shit where you just think about.
The crazy thing is, man, it's times where it's big money up in them tents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always heard of that. I ain't never been down there to figure it out. I always believed it. I trusted it. I just slid through there. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do, and then to be like, okay, yeah, this shit real. What I mean, that's all I could tell you.
I had different lifestyles in it. Being a dope dealer in it. I spoke highly on the people in the community because I was making money, so it was easy to defend or to speak on somebody that would speak on someone being unsheltered, or talking on somebody that was in their addiction, or being with the streets. Because most people don't realize the reason why we have the black market drugs is because people can't afford healthcare. so they can afford to stand on the medication that they need. So they're finding some other way to cope with their medication and finding it in the street. So this is why you have it.
That's a good keynote right there.
So with that being said, with the harm reduction is huge, but you never realize how much a person is in need of the medication.
So it's almost like people looking down at somebody for being addicted or being a drug addict. In reality, they just really needed money to keep going to the doctor to get the prescribed medication, and they couldn't.
That's
so
it.
It's like
but these drugs have different effects to them, but they still need their medication.
Gotcha.
And then after a while, once
so that just adds more because you never know what somebody went through.
But then a lot of times too, some of these drugs don't have a reaction. It's just the label that's on the drug. So now the participant that's using the drug is shamed or outcast from their family because of the name of the drug and the label. But the whole time it's just helping them with their medication. Gotcha. It's just helping them with their mental. Gotcha. So then now they go off alone, and the only people around are us.
Gotcha.
And those in these places. So we find ourselves being the family of those that are outcast because they are in their medication or they're in their mental illness. So it's not even in that fashion. That's why the whole time, like I said, I've had different aspects. For me being the dealer, it was real easy for me to speak on it. But then once, LAPD threw a case my way.
Wow.
While I wasn't selling drugs, they threw a case my way with me organizing, and I had to fight it for years. For me fighting that case, I ended up becoming unsheltered. And now I could either run and be on someone's couch, or I could do most of the things on getting in the county and things of that fashion, but they want to separate your family if you want to use the aid.
Right.
Or then you have to go through these other things, these work source programs and things like that. And I already have the way I knew how to get my business going. So now that's going to cut into my way. So I couldn't take their routes that they wanted to give me.
Right.
So I have to go the route that I understood,
right,
which was using my college education. But through that, I found myself being a hypocrite if I went to somebody's couch or if I went and stayed in somebody's house, because I'm sitting here the whole time when I'm selling drugs and when I'm selling dope. I can be on the block for 3 days straight without changing my clothes, and I'm gonna talk shit all day about how long I've been there getting it.
Right.
Nigga, I ain't went home. I've been here getting it. I'm gonna talk all of that. But now, when I don't have a place to stay, am I gonna stay on that corner? You feel what I'm saying? Am I still gonna spit all that shit? Am I still gonna be talking that shit about Skid Row and all this? And so I had to be it. You know what I mean? My whole thing was not to be a hypocrite.
Contradict yourself.
I'm contradicting myself now. You talked all this, and when you be on the bus or when you somewhere else out in the field and somebody sits there and talks about it, somebody in Skid Row, you can talk highly about it. Yeah. But now that you have to become it, what you gonna do? So my whole thing was like to prove it to myself. At the same time, become an example because I knew I could do it. And I think that was actually the first time I actually let go and let God, though. You know what I'm saying? Because, the homie's gonna pull up. They gonna drop me off right there once we get done doing everything. Hey, where I'm dropping you off for? You downtown, right? Yeah, for a fact. But when they pull up on you at that tent to drop you off at the tent, now he's, are you all right? I was all right when you picked me up, but when we saw each other, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I understand who would be there for you, and also not to look and judge things when you see it. Pray for your understanding. Don't be praying for nobody, because somebody would have prayed for me to be out that situation. I wouldn't be where I'm at now.
Right.
So the whole thing is, pray for your understanding. Don't be sitting back praying for nobody on where you want them to be.
That's fact. That's a big fact too. Appreciate these gems you came and dropped on us, man. Not only is you helping the people you helping, shit you helping everybody watching is helping us right now, man.
No, man, I've been looking at my boy Cam for a minute, man, just to see. I'm sitting with cool ass Cam.
Okay, so
the real LA,
said,
man.
Before we ended the episode, we switch it to where the people we got, the guest becomes a podcaster, and you get to ask us a question. So you can ask Cam a question, ask me a question.
Oh, for sure.
So go ahead, start with Cam now, since that's your podcast. Since that's cool ass Cam, and you with Cam and all of that.
Well, I hadn't even got into I was just sitting here saying, because my boy was just sitting here.
Okay, chilling. So I always say this for Cam.
You feel me?
He's back there engineering everything. You feel me? So while we talking, he flipping the cameras around.
He doing his thing.
And he's also making sure we never have technical difficulties.
See, this has always been him, man.
I put him out. You know what I mean? He's so cool. It looked like he ain't doing nothing. He just back there chilling. But he really own it. So if I was to say, hey, dude, he got a question for you, he ready to boom. Oh yeah. So with that being said, and go into all that, but sometimes if it's a good flow, we just let the guests
talk.
You know what I mean? So
No, hey,
some good conversation
man,
going.
no,
yeah, you was dropping so many gems where it's like, shit, we're gonna let you go on.
Well, I already understand, man. I'm here with the young LA, but I mean, I've sat here and I've known of this young man for a minute. I'm always seeing him doing just what he's doing right now.
With that being said, before we get into your questions, let's get into this. I always ask this: how did me and you met? But we ain't gonna even go into that. Let's talk about how you and Cam met.
This is my thing. I would have to be.
It ain't no right or wrong answers, just content. I always say that all the time.
This is just like I'm saying. This is how I know of Cam. He's just what he is right now.
Cool ass Cam.
Yeah, just there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I could pinpoint where, somebody give me $1 million right now.
I got you.
If I could pinpoint.
He always been there though, but it's
Always
like, can you remember
just-
the first time he was there?
Fuck.
Probably
no.
not. But
Fuck
can you
no.
remember him being there from the time he was there, always being there? Yes.
And wherever he's at, the energy has always been where you want to be. I don't know him. I know him and his face. Probably this. Let's even do it this way. I knew of him and his face before I knew of his name for at least 4 years.
Got you.
Before I even knew his name.
A whole college, like nigga went to college.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
but I would always see him in the areas where people want to be.
That part.
Around those people that you want to know.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
In the in crowd. VIP.
In the in crowd. Always
event.
doing it.
There with the right folks.
But when I'm seeing him there,
Yeah.
he's just like this. He's smiling and just chilling.
Yeah.
Like I
Mind my
can't,
business.
Yeah, I can't even say who he's talking to, who he came with.
So do you remember the first time you met him?
I want to say it was somewhere where you were there. You had to have been there.
Yeah.
It might have been one of your shows. It had to have been one of your shows. I can't specifically say which show it was though.
Yeah.
But I know we was all together.
And that's meeting him. That's actually.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Where
But even before that, I was like club promoting.
Yeah, I
and
got you.
stuff
So
like that.
before
Seeing
niggas
it.
didn't finally introduce y'all to each other, but as
Never.
far as seeing each other,
Just seeing
and that
it.
make a lot of sense because it be like that in LA where you see niggas and you like never even might even cross them in the room, but you see
Because
them
I've
out
ran
there.
into him at Venice a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
just in traffic. Niggas be in traffic.
What's the boy's name that used to be Corrupt's head DJ? Short kind of cat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about when you think of his face?
He was the one that was DJing that Slink Johnson show.
He was
I
DJing
know
for
his
Rupp
name.
back when Rupp had his album.
what's his name?
I used to see him at the skating rink all the time.
I want to, the one.
You
who,
see how I don't know
what
his
I'm talking
name?
about, who used to DJ at,
You see how I don't know his name?
I know his name too.
That's how
fucked up.
Cam was
The
for
one
me.
that DJ
Like I
at,
was just constantly seeing him.
You got the glasses.
But goddamn it, I know who you are.
He DJ
L Boogie.
Huh?
L
no,
Boogie?
not L Boogie. Shout out to L Boogie.
Yeah, I'm going back. See,
L Boogie was DJing at all of the clubs and back in the day, and then
That's what I'm thinking about.
He DJing at the bike clubs now. But no,
That's what I'm thinking about. L Boogie.
I'm thinking about
Cause L Boogie,
I remember L Boogie too. Yeah.
L Boogie always got a hoodie on.
Who are you thinking
my
about?
boy name. He the one that DJ at Slink Johnson at the.
Cause L Boogie's shorter than me.
That's the only thing I
and
can
Cam.
remember for sure that he DJ.
Kind of brown
he
complected
DJ for
between
all
me
of
and
the.
I
your
remember
complexion.
him.
That's
he
what I'm
DJ
thinking
for all
about.
the Dog Pound too. Do you think about L Boogie?
I'm thinking about L Boogie. It's gotta be
Okay.
L Boogie because L Boogie's a LA cat.
It could have been something he was doing. Yeah,
That's the
because I
name.
done
That's the name that
the
sounds.
one that I
familiar
know
for me.
that been DJing for them is
You talking about lately?
for a while too though. I just don't know when it crossed, but I can't think of his name right now. And that's fucked up.
Because L Boogie's the short
Be with
between
my
me
boy
and.
Day One. He from Dog Pound too. He DJ'd all that shit. But I'm saying the only thing where he DJ for sure was Slink Johnson, Pimps, and Kinfolk.
I haven't been there.
Let me look it up then. Y'all keep talking real quick. I'm gonna pull it up and make sure.
What's up, Juice? You said you had a question?
Oh no, his question.
Oh,
Okay, so yeah, you can ask Cam the question you was gonna ask. him.
Okay. the main question I want to ask: what made you personally back and partner with Young LA? Because I mean, my thing is, when I see Young LA, I always see him as being he's solo. You know what I mean? I see him all, he has his people that he knows and who he's with, but I know him to be solo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So this is really the only partner I know him to have is you. You know what I'm saying?
DJ Cell. I just thought of it.
DJ Cell.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
I don't
yeah,
know DJ
y'all
Cell.
go back into it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know DJ Cell. Yeah. So what? Because he's talented as hell. You know what I'm saying? He's funny as shit. Did you see that, or y'all already was cool? Like, what made you partner with Young LA on this?
On this, all right. So we had already like been friends before that. You know, like
That's what I'm saying.
even
So what
way
made you
back
do this?
before we was doing music
Okay.
and all that. You know.
Yeah. So at one time when I was rapping, he was one of the dudes I was rapping with. So I used to do a lot of shows. We had a lot of songs together, and he'd be doing the shows. He stopped rapping and started doing this at a certain time. So I kept going. So, but it was like how you see me with G5 now, and certain people I got songs where we do a lot of shit and be in traffic together.
Yeah.
He was one of those at one time. I did G Malone Key Club. He was there performing with me. He had a certain style and he had his own vibe. Like he is now. He used to rap the same way. He just- And I used to love this nigga shit.
Yeah.
Like, you would never expect this nigga get on. He'd say, so I'm in the beach house, bitches. He goes there with the T-top down with him doing shit my way. Yeah, he be popping it. Yeah.
Hey, let's play some of your shit then.
Hey, with that
After
being
the
said,
show.
yeah, okay,
Why we not
after the
playing
show.
that? Why we
Yeah, he
can't let
don't
the
want
world
it.
hear?
Hey, man, they can hear it, man. Just search cool ass kid.
They gotta look that shit up.
Like that was
Yeah.
some
That's
Master
where he was
Drake.
at.
They can run them YouTube views.
That
up
sound like
there.
that was on some.
We're going to play it for you after the
Like
show.
that
He-
was on some. Ooh.
Yeah, he in there. It was that. But he
Damn.
on this now, so that's, I guess, why he ain't really tripping off of it. But for sure, that was him. He had you
Okay, so
swagger.
he start this up and he hit you to come through on it.
No,
or what?
I'm going to let him finish. But, well, I could say from my end, I wasn't trying to be no podcaster. So
I
let's
was
say
already
that right now.
podcasting since
Yeah.
like 2019.
So you had him come on as a guest or something?
I used to always come on as a guest.
Yeah.
This is my boy's show. So if I
Yeah.
got a new album, I call him, hey, man, whenever you can fit me in, I got a new album coming out. And I do it on my own. So
Yeah.
but at one certain time, it was like, it didn't mean to happen like this. But say I came and did one bow. That's regular. I did a video with my boy Brandon Marquise. He came and brought everybody in here to do it and ended up being here bow. While I was there that day, they had a show coming up the next week and they was needing a co-host. So I ended up pulling up for that thing too, bow.
Okay.
So for like 3 weeks in a row, I had came,
You came
but
through.
not for the same reason. It just was
It just worked out like
scattered.
that.
Yeah, it just ended up happening. So one of the days when everybody left, I happened to be right here just fucking with him, and then he just like popped a question on me like that. That's how it really happened.
Like,
So
hey,
see-
why don't you do a show with me? You know, you already here every week anyway. You know, we might as well just.
And in my head, I'm like, I ain't here every week anyway. I didn't mean to come on purpose and like that. But he like, but you are. You get me? So I'm like, with that being said, right, you know,
I got
will
used to
make it
seeing
work.
my friend once a
Yeah.
week, you know, so it
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
brought a little back. So
But at the same time, you know, it worked out well because it's at the same time it's business for him.
Yeah, he
promotion.
explained that was part of the shit he said. But that's why I
Instead of
said
just hanging and not
I wasn't
winning.
really. Yeah,
I got
wasn't
something
really-
to bring to the table.
That's
Yeah.
what win.
I wasn't really tripping on it. That's what I'm saying. I looked at podcasts like how people be asking trick questions. Like, I'm going to ask you something about something that I heard about you having beef with somebody and say, so what do you think about it? And then you looking at me like, nigga, I don't like that nigga. And it's like, now you didn't put that energy out. We going to clip that and bow. We for sure going to go viral because now this nigga going to like, no.
That's
we
what
ain't-
ain't-
Hey man,
it's
see,
not-
I was
it's
ready
not
to
about
follow
that, though,
Shit. I'm,
you know?
Yeah,
I'm
I
ready to
ain't-
talk shit about
No,
Mike. Oh,
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
No, mine ain't on that. Mine ain't on that.
We
I'm
built
not-
this
yeah.
based off of like
Yeah, it's all
knowing what the
positive
good things that
energy.
people got going in their life. You
Come
know
on,
how they
man.
got to
I
where they
already know.
are.
Yeah, I'm just shedding light on the good side, you know.
Man, I walk around these streets, man. That's one thing I'm not gonna be promoting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I'm loving about when I'm hanging with you, man. Like, you know how to light a room up. You know what I'm
Energy,
saying?
yeah, man.
Man, you know how to light a room up, man. Like it's stand up comedy is always great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you can be in the room with somebody that's not doing it to put on a show,
That part.
and not doing it to make a spectacle out of nobody, but just making the room light up, it's something different. No shame, because I go to stand up.
Yeah.
But to be sitting where you're not expecting it,
Yeah,
and then to be
because
getting
almost
it,
you a professional when you was doing stand-up comedy. You supposed to know how to do that to a certain extent.
you know.
When you ain't supposed to know how to do it, it's different. And
And man, it
fuck
just
with
come
all-
out the blue, man. With
Yeah,
you, man,
yeah, nah, for sure.
that should be hitting me in somewhere different, man. That's and how it comes to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
no, I'm really funny, but I don't
Yeah.
want to come off as funny because when you
Yeah.
walk up to people, they tell a joke, and I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm not him. I might be having a hard day that day, or I got a lot to do, and I'm not funny. And the nigga take it now like, oh, this nigga ain't fucking with me. He was all
Yeah.
funny now.
Yeah.
So now if I just be cool and then high rise, you meet me, you get it. Now if
Yeah.
I'm funny one day and I'm going something, oh, I get this nigga. He was, you know what I mean? You
There it
understand?
is.
If you just meet him straight from the drum, hella funny. This next time I see you, what's up, man? And I gotta go. They're like, oh, this nigga
Yeah.
tripping
He
today.
tripping.
And they're like, you don't even know me yet, but I can understand how people do that. So I just take it easy on trying to be hella funny with people. When we locked in though, you
man.
this nigga wild as cat meat though. Yeah, man, I'ma let it go. I let it fly. But when I just be chilling, watching. You know, making sure everything going smooth. If I ain't got nothing too much to say, I ain't gonna say nothing. But as far as being cordial, speaking to people, you know, introducing myself and all like shit that niggas don't do in LA, they just stand on the side.
Yeah.
And niggas be like, damn, who are them niggas?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I ain't, you know, kill
Yeah.
that energy. And
Yeah, you
oh,
gotta
that's
meet
what's up,
that energy, man.
And I tell a nigga, hey, man, if you ever see, you know, give a nigga something to do now. If my thing, I might say, hey, I got a show. See y'all niggas over here. I go on at this time if y'all can. Show me some love on them.
Yeah.
They be looking, I don't know this nigga. But now when they see a nigga come on stage, they're like, oh, damn, there go that nigga who just.
Yeah.
Then they see a nigga, oh, this nigga music hard. He didn't
Yeah.
even need to really come up to say nothing to me.
Yeah.
This nigga
Yeah.
shit already polished. He got a cameraman, he got photo people. Eric DJ, this nigga doing this
I love
shit.
your
Niggas
moms
start
for that,
going-
bro.
Yeah.
I love your moms for that. Know that, you know.
Yeah, so
like
shout
that.
out to
I
moms.
put that out to
my
my
pops
moms,
died
too.
early, so I always tell people that
Yeah.
my pops died when we was like 9, 10.
Okay.
So me and moms basically grew up together. She had me at 17, 18.
That's my mom.
So by the time
That's
we
my
was
mom.
10, she was like 18, 19, and then we was thugging
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I understood, okay, this shit is a little struggle. It's a little hard.
Yeah.
You acting like, oh, ain't nothing. I got it. Y'all be kids. Then I'm like, hell
Yeah.
no, mama.
Yeah.
Something ain't right.
But she did something to you
But
in the inside the same way moms did, man. You have the confidence to, you know, to move in your light.
Yeah, no, back in the day, growing up, I say they'd tell parents you can't be friends with your kids. And she always was like, all right, friends.
Yeah.
So I get moms that.
Okay.
So
So you always talk to mom.
yeah, she my thug.
Yeah,
She
it
know she know what I be
Yeah,
on.
mom be at the show.
Yeah, she for sure. So
Right
all the
there.
good stuff and the bad stuff. So sometimes, I'll be having to, you got to do it up.
Yeah.
Some for the most part, I'm out of the way, but certain shit is like, hey, it was this happened and shit had to, you know what I mean? So she like, okay, I get it. But for the most part, nah, I tried to be. That's why I don't. Some of the shit I don't do. I got a mom. So she
There it
held
is.
me down.
There it is.
She got love for a nigga. So when I'm supposed to be out here tearing shit up, you know what I mean? So on one side, it was shit like this. I got all A's in school, but I get back. They always say this nigga talking to people. He a class clown.
Yeah.
And she just like, okay, you doing what you doing on this side, but as far as niggas telling you to stop talking and all, man, you can't. Nigga, I just passed. I tell this, I'm helping him. You actually trying
Yeah.
to stop me. You don't even understand this nigga. You trying to tell me to stop talking to him. I finished my homework already while we doing classwork.
Yeah.
This shit ain't nothing. I'm
Yeah.
fit to go play when I get outside. I mean, you know how they always try to get you.
Yeah.
Hey, so you ready to answer this question? And I get up there and answer it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you thought I was asleep? Like, because I don't got to pay attention to this. I'm past this already. The same thing at the house. Mom, so what's up? I see you outside playing and shit. Where your homework at? Oh, I did my homework in school. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
done.
it is.
Okay, so it's somewhere in there. It's like, damn, this little nigga got it on lock. I understand what I need to do here, and I know the story what I could do out there. You feel me? So somewhere you stop telling mom shit, she figure out shit, and you like, oh, okay, you been out there doing it up. So that's why I said I try to be cool.
There it is. There
That's
it is.
it. But yeah,
Okay.
mom's here though. She's supportive though.
Your question now.
Yeah.
Your question now. A lot of people I see they're into the music or the art of the music
Yeah.
for what they can get out of it.
Right.
But I seem to look at what you do, and I see you as being an artist.
Right.
Like you like how people have art to put out for people to admire their art.
Yeah.
And how long will you think you'll continue? Because that's like with me. Like I'm gonna be an artist till I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna paint until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people don't understand that that's what music is. It's an art, and regardless of who is looking at it or listening to it or whatever, if you're a true artist, you're supposed to do it. That's one reason why I've been into your music, because I hear the artistry in it.
Yeah.
So do you feel are you
the only thing I can say is the time when I was saying because I was going to college. I'm probably like one semester from graduating from AA.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stop doing the music and just finish this regular shit up. And that's when we got this other character that popped up. Okay. It was like, if it wasn't the same day, it was so close. Yeah. Where it was like God, like telling, like, "Hey, this your thing." Don't do that. Yeah. You feel me? So I'm like, if I let this nigga run, it's like you I'm finna be in school, just you doing college, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I can't. And that's the whole thing where I was getting into it with people who had relationships with them, you know, that tied in. Yeah. Hey man, you know, we've been doing shit, but now I don't know if I could work with you. So it was people like, well, you should just change your name. You should stop. And it was just, I had to fight through all that. So at one time when they realized, oh, this nigga is serious and this nigga really on it, they start calling me the real Young LA. So I just start going with the real Young LA. Basically, that's how I changed it, because it's not you looking at me, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you ain't got to ask, who I heard about it, nigga. I already told you I was the real Young LA. Yeah. So if you ain't got to, you feel me? If you want to have a story about how, I love to bring it up. Because it's really simple. It's going to myspace.com/Young LA. It's going there, If that go to me, then you can tell why his shit is Young LA music. So he already had to know I was out. Yeah. I already had songs booming back then where I had 50,000, 100,000 songs, and I was getting producers that was producing for T.I. album. Yeah. So I was already getting mixed in the industry. It was just, I had a deal with Yums. They was signing Soulja Boy at Interscope. He, you know, it was the name Young LA. His name was Young Lay, so he just kind of snatched that up. So when you tell somebody that, if you don't understand it and you don't know how, when you live in here, like the word for the win, that was my, this is a regular word. I just went to a burger spot right here in Grand Central Market, like for the win burgers, like this, ain't this a bitch? But it's just, you know, one of those type of things. You wasn't there, it's hard. I'm not bitter. I'm gonna walk around feeling bad about it, because I'm gonna make some new shit up and it's gonna keep going. So that's the same thing with the music, though. That's one thing I was saying. Like I feel like I even slow down sometimes, because I feel like people get this taking songs from me and copying shit I do. So I not make music for a little while, and then they'd throw them off, because people be watching me. So I'm like, I ain't got nothing out right now. You know, all my old shit. So when you gonna drop? They don't even know when. Yeah. You try to take the date with me. Oh, well, let's do it. It ain't none of that. I don't know nothing right now. We just building and doing this, but I got everything really coming, and that's why another reason when it comes, excuse me, man, I apologize. But yeah, like you said, art though, man, I'm focused on that, like, you know. But that's why I do my art in a different fashion. Yeah, because I feel like that's what I'm gonna run into. Yeah, what you run into is what I feel that LA has a problem with, and it's not even just LA. It might be everywhere. That's why Nip end up going to Atlanta. That's why people end up leaving from outside of where they're at. You know, most of these niggas wasn't listening to the homie until he ended up passing. Respectfully. You know, respectfully. You know what I mean? I can understand some of it too, because, you know, people were probably feeling like their ears were being burned. Well, where we come from, you know, hearing where he was from a lot, who depends? I don't know. But the whole thing is, when it comes to the art and when it comes to us in LA, we don't jump on our own until everybody else is. So first of all I can say was this: when you say art, where the art came from and who made it or where they grew up, it don't got nothing to do with the art. So when you get to that part of the game, you won't be on, you know, you gotta kind of grow from being the ghetto thought process to saying this is art. Because even Nip was going through that when he dropped the album and the cover was red. He was like, had to understand, okay, red, it means attention and catching, you know, all kind of different stuff. And you know, so that's the type of thing where it was grown. You got to be bigger than that. So that's why I said I just try to do the art and make it bigger than that. You know,
and that's why I make it bigger than myself. That's why I take myself outside of it and actually produce other artists with the art. Like from Show's Art to JD. I got a homeboy JD out the Low Bottoms.
Yeah.
This little youngster, he's his tag name is Ochos.
Okay.
You know, I got another partner named Seaweed that I'm working with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I produce art through other artists. You know, artists out of Skid Row and other people, instead of it just being my work. Because that's how I would feel that it would happen. To where people are going to start to lowball it or not want to favor it. Because it's like, damn, I'm seeing this nigga again. Damn, I'm seeing him here. I'm seeing him there.
Push other people through.
You know what I mean? Push other people through. You know what I mean?
Well, before we get up out of here, I want you to drop all your social medias, all of that, and then just give people one more good gem on the way out.
All right, social media wise, man, my nonprofit is at the Sidewalk Project LA. My personal handle is at SC Brown Bear _, and then my studio is Life Is. That's 2 I's under it, after the I, LIIFE IS _art studios. So yeah. Oh, and then
One more
if I can give you a gem,
right into this camera right here.
if I can give you a gem, let me see. Tomorrow's just a great idea. You know, be prosperous with every step.
Niggas be putting too much stuff off on tomorrow, and they could do it right now.
I mean, shit, man.
It's a great idea.
That's all it is.
That's a hell of a one.
Tomorrow's just a great idea. You don't know you don't even know if it's coming. So,
all right, so this is what I was about to tell you also. If Cam don't talk no time with the episode, he gonna talk right now, and he don't never fuck this part up. So watch how you do this. Hey, so this the part where we get on up out of here. I'm gonna pass it to Cam. He gonna give you all our social media and say all that cool stuff. He gonna say it so smooth. It's like he jumped in the car and he turned 1971 somewhere with the one finger, man. Get him out of here, Cam.
Y'all can tap in with me at COOLAZZCAM. Tap in with our website, www.theinnovativeculture.com. Follow us on Instagram at innovative.culture and the WB Morning Show. And subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/innovativeculture.
And it's like that, man. Y'all heard the man. I ain't even fit to back him up today. He said what he said. I'm out. Hello.
Waking up, sunshine beams through the blinds. Young LA and cool as Cam on the grind. 10 a.m. hits, I'm tuning in for the fine. Spotify or YouTube, blowing up your mind. WB Morning Show, that's the spot. Fresh episodes every Monday, they hot. West Coast vibes, never miss a shot. Eating up the screen, they serving the plot. Look, hit that subscribe, punch that bell. New content dropping, can't you tell? Last for days, stories to swell. Morning shots, we under the spell.
Innovative.